Okay, diving deep into Eckhart Tolle's The Power of Now today. You weren't kidding about that stack of sources, huh? Articles, reviews, even your own copies looking well loved. Someone's serious about cracking this whole presence thing.
What's wild is how Tolle takes enlightenment, which honestly can sound kind of, I don't know, out there, and makes it so practical. Like, he's not promising you'll be floating by page 50, more like.
More like he's handing you a toolbox for, what's that phrase, ending your own suffering. Which we've all been there, right?
Exactly. And that's what hooks you. He's not preaching from some mountaintop. It's like he's saying, hey, I struggled with this stuff too. Come sit. Let's talk.
Totally. It's that conversational vibe that makes it so approachable. Like you said, not a lecture, more like,
Like those late night talks with a friend who just gets it,
oh,
someone who's done the inner work and wants to share the shortcuts.
right. Speaking of shortcuts, let's unpack one of Tolle's biggies. You are not your mind. Sounds simple, but whoa, when you actually try living that.
Game changer, right? Tolle's saying most of our misery is self-made. We get so tangled up in the shoulda, woulda, couldas, the what-ifs, that we miss.
We miss the only moment we've actually got. That present moment everyone keeps talking about.
And it's not some mystical thing either. It's your kid's laugh, that first sip of coffee, even just, like, feeling your feet on the ground. Stuff we take for granted because our brains are off.
Off to the races, right. He's got that analogy of the beggar sitting on a box of gold. Ever feel like you're searching for happiness everywhere but...
Everywhere but tea inside. Oh,
Ah.
that one got me. We're all so busy chasing the next shiny thing we don't realize we're already sitting on.
A gold mine. More like a piece of mine. And people felt that. Tons of reviewers said just realizing their thoughts weren't them helped with anxiety, stress.
Like Tolle handed them the key to their own mental escape room.
Okay, but how do we escape? He keeps saying, watch the thinker, which at first I was like, huh. Ever feel like you're on autopilot? Thoughts just...
Running the show, that's it. Watching the thinker is like hitting the pause button on that mental movie.
Oh, I like that. Instead of getting swept up in the drama, you're just
You're the audience now, noticing the thoughts, the worries, without getting all caught up in them.
like, oh, there's that anxious thought again. Interesting. Not, OMG, this is the end of the world.
Exactly. And it's not about stopping thoughts, because let's be real, good luck with that. It's more like,
Choosing which ones get the microphone.
you got it. Becoming the master of your mind instead of the other way around.
Which brings us to Tolle's main jam, The Power of Now. Sounds kind of obvious, but in our always-on world.
Presence is a radical act, man. Think about it. How often are we truly here? Not reliving yesterday's argument or stressing about tomorrow's deadline, but right here, right now.
It's like we've forgotten how. But even when we remember, the past, the future, they feel so darn real. All those regrets, worries, they just...
They pull us back in, don't they? Like quicksand. But here's where Tolle's like, hold up, past, future. Those are just mind games.
He's saying they only exist in our heads. This moment, that's all there ever is. Pretty wild, huh?
Wildly freeing once you get it. It's pure zen, really. There's that story of the student asking the master, what's the meaning of life? And the master just points at a rock. Like, dude, you see this rock? That's it. That's the whole thing, pretty much. It's about finding the extraordinary in the ordinary, the sacred in the everyday.
Which, let's be honest, is usually where we find ourselves. Stuck in traffic, waiting in line, those moments we usually just try to...
Zone out of.
Yeah.
Exactly. But Tolle's saying, what if those are the best moments to wake up?
To actually practice this whole presence thing, okay, that's kind of...
Mind-blowing when you really think about it,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
It's like the more frantic things get, the more we need that pause button.
And Tolle doesn't let us off easy with the whole easy breezy presence thing either. This pain body concept, that one hit home for me.
Intense, right?
Why?
It's like he's saying, yeah, we all got this basement in our minds full of old junk.
And not just our junk, like inherited stuff too, family baggage, societal stuff, even like ancestral trauma he's talking about.
Generational hand-me-downs nobody wants,
Yes.
right? But we're lugging them around anyway.
Exactly, like this invisible weight. No wonder we're tired all the time.
And here's the kicker. That pain body, it's got a hair-triggered temper. Someone cuts you off in traffic.
Bam! Suddenly you're 10 years old again, back in your dad's car while he yells at, see, there it is.
Right. And the more we buy into that drama, the stronger it gets. Vicious cycle.
So how do we break free? Because Tolle's not saying to just like, good vibes only, this thing away.
Nope. He's all about facing it head on with, get this, compassionate curiosity.
Wait, so instead of running from the pain, we get all curious about it.
Think of it like you're a scientist,
Yeah.
and this pain body, it's your weird Kind of gross but fascinating specimen.
Instead of, ew, get it away, it's more like, wonder what this thing does.
Exactly. And by really observing it, not judging, just letting it be, that's where the magic happens.
It's like that saying, what we resist persists, the more we fight it.
The more it wins.
Yeah.
Surrender is key here. Not giving up, but surrendering to the experience itself.
Okay, easier said than done when the experience is like full-blown panic attack level bad.
For sure. But think of it this way. You're the sky, right? And all those thoughts, emotions, even the pain body, they're just...
Weather patterns.
Exactly. They come, they go. But the sky, always there, always vast. That's our true nature, Tolle would say.
Which, okay, that's beautiful and all, but what about when these weather patterns are wreaking havoc on our relationships? That's where things get really real.
Oh, yeah. Tolle doesn't shy away from the messy stuff. In fact, he kind of sees relationships as the ultimate training ground.
Well, we talking spiritual boot camp now.
Kinda. It's where we learn the most about ourselves, our buttons, our baggage.
Especially if we're looking for love in all the wrong places, right? He's got a lot to say about that.
So much.
Yeah.
Like that whole thing where we're looking for someone to complete us, recipe for disaster.
Because no one else can do our inner work for us.
Exactly. And by expecting them to, we're setting everyone up for a major letdown.
Plus, it's kind of insulting, right? Like saying, you, in your flawed human glory, aren't enough. I need you to be this other thing.
When really, the more we embrace our own wholeness, the better our relationships become. Funny how that works.
So we gotta find our own peace before sharing our life with someone.
Otherwise, we're just two half-baked cookies trying to make a whole dessert. Not gonna be that tasty.
Okay, that's a visual. But where does presence fit into all this relationship stuff?
It's everything. Tolle's big on bringing awareness to how we're relating. Are we showing up as our best selves? Or are we letting ego run the show?
Because ego loves a good drama triangle, right?
Oh, it lives for it. Jealousy, possessiveness, playing the victim. All ego's greatest hits.
And meanwhile, genuine connection, intimacy, all that good stuff gets drowned out in the noise.
Lost in the sauce.
There you
We're
go.
so busy protecting our hearts, building walls.
That we forget to just, like, open the damn door.
Vulnerability, man. That's where the real magic is. But we got to get out of our own heads to access it.
Which brings us back to the power of now. Makes you think, what if we brought that kind of presence to our love life? Tolle talks about surrender, too, which, that one's tricky.
Loaded word, right. We hear surrender, and it's all white flags, giving up.
Especially in relationships. It's like, wait, so I just let him walk all over me? Not exactly the recipe for romance.
Nope, not what he's saying at all. It's more like surrendering to the reality of the situation, not trying to force it, control it.
Because we've all tried that. How's that working out for you?
Right. We go in with our checklist. Must love dogs, got to have ambition, can't be afraid of little commitment.
And if they miss a box, we're like, no worries, I'll change them. Spoiler alert, never ends well.
Exactly. We can't make someone be who we want them to be. And the more we try, the more they usually.
Bolt for the exit. Yeah, I've witnessed that firsthand. So surrender is more about, what, acceptance?
Acceptance with a side of trust. Trust that even if it's messy, imperfect.
Even if it's not what we thought it'd be.
Especially then. That's where the real growth happens. When we let go of the reins a little, stop trying to micromanage the universe.
We find peace, not from them, but from within ourselves. Which, damn, why is that so hard?
Ego, my friend.
Yeah.
Ego hates surrender and wants control, guarantees, the whole 9 yards.
Just terrified.
Of not being enough, of getting hurt, the usual suspects. But here's the plot twist. The more we cling to that ego,
The more we push away the very love we're looking for. Ouch, that one stings a little.
truth hurts, but it's also incredibly liberating.
Mm-hmm.
Because once we see that ego game for what it is,
We can choose differently. Man, Tully's all about choices, huh?
every moment's a choice point. To react or respond, to withdraw or connect, to be ruled by fear or...
By love. Okay, that's a choice I think we can all get behind.
Exactly. And that right there, that's the power of now. Not just some abstract idea, but a lived, breathing.
Revolution. I kind of like the sound of that.
Me too. A revolution of presence, of awareness, of hearts over egos.
And it starts, as always, right here, right now. Well, folks, there you have it. A deep dive into The Power of Now, a book that's way more than just stop and smell the roses, though that's good advice too.
It's a call to wake up, to show up, to be fully present for this messy, beautiful, utterly unpredictable.
Life. And on that note, we'll leave you to ponder your own next choice point. Until next time, stay curious, stay compassionate.
And stay present.